Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're tackling a core business concept that honestly sounds way more complicated than it actually is. So we're going to break it down using something that is probably sitting right in your pocket at this exact moment. We are unlocking internal control and discovering the smartphone secret to business security. Okay, let's dive right into this. What does your smartphone really have in common with a massive multi-million-dollar business? At first glance, you'd probably say absolutely nothing, right? One's just a piece of glass and metal you use to scroll social media, and the other is this giant, complex organization with hundreds of employees, massive budgets, and moving parts. But if you look closer, they both fundamentally rely on a very similar underlying system of protection to actually function properly. Think about your phone for just a second. You've definitely got a passcode set up. Maybe you use Face ID to unlock it. And running in the background, you almost certainly have some kind of automatic backup saving everything to the cloud. But here's the interesting part. None of these features actually stop you from using your phone, do they? You can still text, you can call, you can snap photos without a second thought. What they really do is act as your invisible bodyguards. They're keeping your private photos and your banking apps safe from strangers, all while making sure you don't lose your whole digital life if you accidentally drop your phone in a puddle. Well, in the business world, internal control works the exact same way. It is literally the corporate equivalent of your passcode and your automatic backup. These controls, they aren't there to stop employees from doing their jobs or to, bog everything down with endless red tape. Actually, scratch that. A lot of people think it's red tape, but instead, internal control exists to protect the living, breathing company so that everyone can do their job safely and effectively. It's that invisible security layer constantly running in the background of everyday operations. Section 2. What is internal control? Translating the corporate jargon. So, if we look at the official definition from the Committee of Sponsoring Organizations of the Treadway Commission, or COSO for short, they say internal control is a process affected by an entity's board of directors, management, and other personnel, designed to provide reasonable assurance regarding the achievement of objectives relating to operations, reporting, and compliance. Phew, okay, take a breath. That sounds incredibly dense, right? It's super formal and honestly quite intimidating. It reads like a textbook wrote it for another textbook. And this brilliantly illustrates why we need to translate that jargon. Let's strip all that complexity away. In simple words, internal control is really just a process carried out by everyone. We're talking the board of directors, the management team, and everyday employees. And their main goal? To provide reasonable assurance that the organization will actually achieve its operational, reporting, and compliance goals. That's really it. It's just a massive team effort, from top to bottom, making sure the company does exactly what it is supposed to do safely and legally. Section 3. The 3 main objectives, the features of a secure business. So if internal control is the security system of our business smartphone, then these 3 objectives we're about to cover are the specific safety features we're installing. Let's look at the very first one. Objective 1 is to ensure accurate and reliable financial information. Just imagine for a second, if your banking app randomly scrambled your balance every single time you opened it, you wouldn't be able to make any financial decisions. Well, internal control ensures that all financial transactions within a business are recorded completely and, most importantly, correctly. Because of this control, the company can prepare accurate financial statements. And this is absolutely vital because managers and external users need to be able to completely trust those numbers when they're making huge decisions. Let's move to the next one and see how this builds. Objective 2 is all about safeguarding the company's assets. You can think of this as the heavy-duty lock on the vault. A company has cash, inventory, expensive equipment, all sorts of valuable resources. Internal control acts as the ultimate shield protecting these assets from theft, from outright fraud, from accidental damage, or even just everyday misuse. It simply ensures that the company's hard-earned resources are used exclusively for legitimate business purposes and absolutely nothing else. And finally, we have Objective 3, to ensure compliance and improve operational efficiency. This one kind of acts as both the rule book and the engine tune-up at the same time. On the one hand, it helps employees follow internal company policies and external legal requirements, keeping the company out of trouble. But on the other hand, it actually makes the business run so much better. By having good controls in place, you naturally reduce errors, you prevent wasteful spending, and you make sure that daily business activities are carried out as efficiently as possible. Section 4. Why auditors care. The ultimate checkup. All right, so we've set up our secure business smartphone. We've got our passcodes, our Face ID, our automatic backups. But how do we actually know they are working the way they're supposed to?
Well, that is exactly where the auditors come in. So why do internal controls matter in an audit? Think about it. If an auditor's job is just to check the final financial numbers, why on earth do they spend so much time looking at the security systems behind the scenes? Take a second to think about how those safety features we just talked about might make an auditor's life easier or, on the flip side, a whole lot harder.
So the crucial point is this. Internal controls are the absolute foundation of a successful audit. Strong internal controls directly reduce the risk of errors and fraud happening in the very first place. And because of that reduced risk, the reliability of the financial information just skyrockets. When auditors walk into a company and they see a strong, well-maintained passcode and backup system working perfectly, it helps them plan and perform their audit so much more effectively. They know right off the bat that they can place a solid degree of trust in the numbers generated by that system.
To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final, pretty important thought. If a business operates with weak or non-existent internal controls, it is exactly like leaving your brand new smartphone completely unlocked sitting on a public park bench. Anyone can access it, they can change things, or they can just steal what's inside. So, looking at the organizations you work with or the businesses you study, is your company's screen unlocked? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this helped clear up the vital and honestly fascinating world of internal controls.